We are nearing the end of the season, if you can believe it. The summer season, of course, garden season. And I wanted to do a final garden tour. So it is September 14th, I believe. Technically, our first frost date is supposed to be tomorrow. Thankfully, it is not. It is so far the 10-day forecast. We still do not have a frost coming. I think the lowest is a 38-degree night in 10 days. So quite a ways out there. And I've just realized that the horses have completely knocked down the fence. Awesome. So I'm going to deal with that first. But anyway, we are going to do a tour of how everything has done, what it's looking like right now. As you can see, my sunflowers are just absolutely gorgeous. I have loved them. And there's some surprises. I was really amazed at how well some things have done. Some things not so great, but other things amazing. So let me go fix the fence and then we will come back to this. Right, the fence is now fixed. Mostly, I think my little solar guy that powers this whole thing, it's just not powerful enough for the amount of fence that I now have it powering. So I just need to get a second one to kind of do this half of the field, which is fine. For now, I've just covered the hay with that gray tarp over there. And I'm hoping that that will just deter them from trying to lean over and eat it, which is knocking down the fence. We'll see. I mean, if they keep doing it, it's fine. It's not going to hurt anything. They're not overeating, so I'm not concerned about it. Anyway, it is what it is. For right now, let's do the garden tour. So let's do a quick little pan of the garden. I have noticed that in my videos, I am panning way too fast over things, so I'm trying to slow it down. Say hi to the girls, chicky chicks. My strawberry tower, you can see that I actually have a strawberry. That's awesome. And then all of the beds, my sunflowers, just magnificent. And around this side, pay no attention to the crap that's still out here, painting stuff. And then my baskets that go back behind the shed over there. So that is the full garden. And like I said, some things did really well, surprisingly well, shockingly well, actually, considering the start of the season. And some things definitely were failures, but or just didn't do as great as I had hoped. But overall, I'm pretty pleased with how things are. So let us start in here. All right, so this is the hoop house. I'm very pleased that I put the majority of my tomatoes and peppers in here because I'll be able to put a little heater in here and it will allow me probably at least a couple of weeks, as long as we don't get a super hard frost, to let things ripen in here, because I have a ton of green things. I mean, all of these peppers have a ton of peppers on them. I mean, just absolutely huge. Look at these. Well, okay, that's not huge, but I have a lot of them here. A lot. So, I'd love for like these peppers to get red. They should. And then I'd love for some of my serranos to get red. Oops, I didn't mean to pick that guy, but there we are. This whole bed here is, I believe, all serrano plants, except for, well, no, I guess this is probably, I think this is one of the new peppers. It kind of looks like a cayenne, and I think it's really spicy, like a cayenne, but they should also turn red. And then these little guys are big red cherry peppers, so should be red as well. I could pick them and they'd all be fine, and these would be spicy, but I'd love for them to actually have time to turn color. This is, I believe, the datil pepper. So I don't know how big they get. They're pretty tiny right now. And then in here, I've got a ton of pepperoncinis that are looking great. These I actually probably could pick because I don't want them to turn red. And then I've got paprikas in here and more pepperoncinis. Some paprika that's actually turning red. I have picked a few of these already. And some more. And then these guys are also, everything here is all stuff that we've started from seed and transplanted. So I'm thrilled, absolutely thrilled, especially considering how they looked early in the year. These guys here are the ones I got from Lowe's or Home Depot, I can't remember. They are covered with, I mean, tons and tons of jalapenos. You can see in here, and they are actually starting to get red, which is what I would like to happen because I'd love to make some sriracha with them. More over on this guy, and then a ridiculous amount of cayenne peppers on here, which also need to turn red. And then these are my jalapenos that I planted from seed. They're much smaller, but there's a ton of them, which is great. I mean, just loaded down. And again, some more bell peppers here and here. Some good sized guys. And then my grape tomatoes are starting to get ripe, which is fun. But you guys, look at these plants. They are massive, massive. So the trellis stops here, which is probably 5 feet tall. Yeah, probably 5 feet tall. And these are at least 3 feet, well, maybe 2.5 feet above that. They're just humongous. And covered with tomatoes, which is great. These guys are my San Marzanos, and I mean, they're big. They're definitely large plants, but they're just now starting to get some color on them. This guy's starting to blush here. There's a lot of them on here, but then there's also a lot that are really small, like those. So I don't know, we'll see. I do have, I believe these are my Ananas Noir. So I have a couple pretty ones here. Hoping we'll get some of those to try. And then on the side that didn't do so well, it's pretty yarrow. Well, my banana peppers have just done absolutely insane. I have picked so many of these guys, it's crazy. And lovely. I mean, I'm thrilled with them. These in this plant, I believe, are goat horns, which I also want to change color. Oops. There's a whole bunch of them in there. But these tomatoes that I had here, they all started looking like this guy is starting to look now. Don't know why. Hasn't seemed to affect the ones that were right next to them at all. But I did go ahead and end up pulling most of it out. I left this one because these were my striped Romas and I really wanted to see what they look like, and they are awfully pretty. And there's quite a few tomatoes on here, so I left part of the plant to at least ripen those up, but I don't think I will plant these again because clearly they did not do well. And then on this side, we've more celery that just went completely bonkers. I do have a parsley hiding under here, and there's some basil and a sage plant, more parsley back there. Poor things, completely overgrown by the celery. There's also a tomato who's not looking very good. I'm not really sure why. Kind of happened overnight. So I think I'll pull this guy out of here. And this was a pepper plant that I planted really late, and it was literally a stick. Like there were no leaves on it anymore. And it has peppers on it. It's a poblano. And I have some more poblanos doing well here. And both of these plants are poblanos. So my peppers are just doing phenomenal. Look at that. I believe this is another goat horn. And then this side is also tomatoes. These are the ones that got planted quite a bit later than these, but are looking fantastic. the trellises have held up great. I mean, you can clearly see I have quit pruning them entirely, and they're holding them up just fine. So I'm pretty impressed with those little trellis system that I got, for those of you that are wondering. But these plants are all looking pretty good. Lots of green tomatoes in there, so we shall see. But then again, we have just a couple of plants that are not doing so great. And I don't know why. I mean, they've been looking like this for weeks now. So I don't think it's blight because it hasn't spread to the tomatoes that are next to them. I don't know. I don't really know what blight looks like. So tell me if this is blight and I should have taken these out of here weeks ago. I probably should just pull them out, but they've had ripe tomatoes, so I haven't. But look at this guy. He's just massive, massive. And then this is the other side of my cherry and grape tomatoes. My Tabasco pepper plants, they've kind of gotten overshadowed by these tomato plants. So I kind of wonder if they would have done better if they'd had more sun. But they have so many flowers. I don't think I'm going to actually get any peppers. I haven't seen any peppers yet. But better than last year, which they didn't even get above 2 inches. So they've grown quite well. And very tall poblano plant. And more of our banana peppers here. I just harvested a whole bunch of these 2 days ago, so I should have more coming on. Oh, this is a Hungarian sweet wax. Little tiny guy there. And this looks like it might be a cayenne. But that is our high tunnel. So overall, I'm pretty pleased with how it's done. And like I said, really glad that I do have all of these in here because I think it's likely that I'll still get a fairly decent harvest, even though we are coming very quickly upon our first frost date. This guy is the best of my oregano. And as you can see, it did not do very much. I mean, it actually looks pretty healthy, so at least there's that. I'm going to move this pot into the high tunnel for the winter, so hopefully it will come back really strong in the spring and actually be a nice oregano plant that I can harvest from. And then our vegeta bed, looking fantastic. Lettuce, we've already taken some out here. The kale in the back, doing very, very well. Our zinnias, they're not going to flower, but they're healthy and happy, at least. They just didn't have enough time, which I kind of expected. But you can see my carrots, they're doing great. And over here, my cilantro, all doing excellent as well. And all of those will do absolutely fine with even like the carrots and kale will handle a hard frost. So even though they're really tiny right now, I think we'll actually get something from them. All right, let's go down and do all of the grow bags that we put along the fence line. So these guys actually did excellent as well. Definitely slow to start, but you know, everything was this year, so not terribly surprising. But these cosmos, look at this color. It is just so, so pretty, so vibrant. I don't know what's eating it, but beautiful color. And I love that it's stayed nice and small. It is a dwarf variety, so I really like that. I'll show you later the ones that are up on the porch that are just massive. All of my yarrow has come up and is doing beautifully. I love that color. Petunias. And this one has 3 different colors, kind of this light pink, brighter pink, white, and then this kind of fuchsia. So pretty. My feverfew. Look at that. Holy cow. I need to look up and see like what you're supposed to pick for medicinal purposes and how you're supposed to preserve it. Because I have no idea, but it's very, very happy. Very, very, very happy. And these guys, oh, they're so pretty. There's a bee over there. These are my cosmic cherry petunias. Aren't they just stunning? Oh, they're so pretty. Look at how big this guy is. That's a single flower. And then these guys back here are the Cerny's Triumph. Also just beautiful. So even though the mice loved them, I'm definitely going to try and grow them again. We have what is supposed to be a mammoth sunflower, but got planted really late, came up really late. So they have buds, but I don't expect to be getting anything mammoth sized out of them. The carnations also, you can see how many buds are on here. They've done great and they smell amazing. Kind of this almost spicy cinnamony scent to them. Oh, so nice. And they do this light pink color, and then they also kind of have a dark fuchsia flower, which I wasn't expecting. These echinacea looks like I'm going to maybe get a couple of blossoms. And I think that these guys are cold hardy as well, so hopefully. Oh, and then this one. This is my baby's breath. Isn't it just stunning? I love it. It's so delicate and ethereal. It looks amazing in bouquets. So also definitely growing that again. Status has done great. I mean, this color's fine. I'm not like super enthralled with it. So I really wanted to have blue, and the seeds were all sold out by the time I went to purchase them. So I just need to be on top of that next year. Some zinnias, and these guys. Look at that coloring. Isn't that amazing? I'm very, very pleased, and it's just covered with blossoms, so it's so pretty. Definitely, I am letting it go to seed because this is an heirloom, so it should breed true. So if I plant the seeds from this, it should grow the same thing that we're seeing right here. And I planted everything that I had purchased last year, so definitely want to save seeds from that. My stock plants, they all look like this. They all look super healthy, nice and full, but not a single one of them flowered. Don't know why. And then there is some echinacea kind of struggling along under here as well. A incredibly happy pumpkin plant, but we'll come back to that. Some anise hyssop here, which I have started harvesting this as well to dry for tea. And I also believe it has some medicinal properties, just not sure what they are off the top of my head. This was supposed to be another cool, like, paper type daisy, but as you can see, it didn't really do all that much. Yeah, this looks like it might be catnip. I don't remember planting that there, but there's some, whatever that stuff is, alyssum. Pretty color. And my straw flowers, as always, have just done beautifully. I love them. Lots of colors in this particular pot, which is fun. And then my eucalyptus, it did okay. I mean, considering it is not a cold weather plant and it had some pretty cool temperatures this spring, not too bad. This one's doing okay as well. I'm not sure why the tops of this one have kind of died, but it keeps growing from the bottom just fine. I don't really know much about eucalyptus at all, other than I love the smell of it. And then some more zinnias. This one's just so pretty how it kind of fades to a pink. And then this was my second planting of cilantro, which I've already harvested from. This was cilantro that I allowed to go to seed from the very first one. Just, I don't know, wanted to see what it looks like when it goes to seed. So I'm not sure if I'm going to actually get coriander seeds from it, but that's fine. And then my poor rhubarb, it just, man, has had a rough summer. First, I got trampled by the guys who were doing the electrical, and then something just continued to continually eating it. Either something was eating the leaves, and then something, I believe mice, would come and just literally chew off the bottom of the stalk and then leave it there. It wouldn't even eat it. Stupid things. So I ended up planting cilantro around it with the hopes that having herbs, you know, a strong smelling herb would help, and it does seem to have done so. So I'm going to do that next year, plant some herbs around my rhubarb. Let's go ahead and continue around the perimeter here and go along the back, which is where we have our raspberries. This one not so much, but down here a little further, they have a ton of berries on them, but I don't know. I don't think I'm going to actually get many. I've gotten a handful, you know, like these guys that I can eat, but that's about it. They are incredibly delicious raspberries. Here's a few more down here. Yeah, that's about what I'm getting. But these sunflowers, which are all volunteers, looking amazing. Sadly, this little pumpkin is supposed to have these cute little white decorative pumpkins. Oh, I have another one going there. And I had several of them, but look at what the mice are doing. Oh, I hate them. We are getting a barn cat. We are getting a barn cat. They seem, so far, knock on wood, to be leaving the bigger guys alone. And I have quite a few of these. They are supposed to be orange, though, and they're just now starting to turn. Oh, that's weird. I wonder what that is. Huh. But I have quite a few of them in here. I think these are my Jackby little pumpkins, which are very cute. And then my one potato plant, who actually looks quite good. It has blossomed and they are starting to die off now. So it'll be interesting to see what we get when it completely dies back. And we will plant our garlic in here again here shortly. I have my garlic ordered. I just, it hasn't been shipped out yet. Probably won't get here until early October, mid-October, I think is when it usually arrives, which is about when we want to plant it. So that's perfect. Okay, let's do some beds. All right, this is our first bed here. We have had some great luck with our green beans. You can see I just picked these really hard the other day and got a whole bunch. So there's not much right now that's big, but we definitely have some more going on in there, which is great. And then these are my cucumbers. They are starting to show that they don't particularly like the cool evenings that we are having, but that's okay. And then I also planted some more cilantro here. The funny thing is, these are beets. This one, this guy, and this guy. Those are beet plants. Oh, and there's 2 more. But I didn't plant beets here. I didn't plant a single beet here. In fact, I never even had beet seeds over here. So they must have been mixed in with the cilantro seed. Anyway, just hilarious that there's beet plants with my cilantro. And then this is my only rosemary that did well this year, but it's quite healthy looking. It smells amazing. And then I have more banana peppers here that have done great. Actually could pick a few more. And then this is the other side of my cucumbers. They've just gone absolutely crazy. And I've gotten a lot of cucumbers, although not as many as you would think from looking at the size of these plants. But I've gotten plenty. I do have enough to do another thing of dill pickles. Well, actually, my first thing of dill pickles. I've just been doing bread and butter up to this point. I need to come and dig in here and pick whatever is out here today. Yeah, so just a little surprising, like I said, that I haven't gotten more cucumbers out of these plants with how healthy and happy they look. Oh, there's a big, huge guy. Oh, actually, this is a slicing cucumber, not a pickling cucumber. Looking lovely. Leave that for a couple more days. And then this bed has got this amazing, well, these both, there's two of them, two plants here, sunflowers, and they have just gone absolutely bonkers. The pollinators are loving them. Let's see if I can find one on the, oh yeah, here we go. Little girls right there doing their thing. But just beautiful. And then look at this guy. Look how tall he is. And look at all of the blossom heads on it. It's just humongous. And then the other one next to it. These carrots here have not done well at all. This is the one that I actually reseeded, I don't know, 4 or 5 times, I think. And they just haven't done well. In fact, here's another one that's going to seed. But you can see when they start to go to seed, they send up this big, thick stalk. And I'm not sure if you can tell, it's kind of got little hairs on it. And this is what happens to the carrot when it starts going to seed. It just becomes not a carrot really at all. So I'm not really hoping for much from these carrots. But over there, I do have some more green and yellow beans, which have just started coming on. So getting quite a bit from there. My calendula hasn't done as well as it did last year. You know, I'm getting a few here and there, but yeah, just nothing like last year's plants. However, they like cold, so they can handle frost, and whereas the sunflowers can't. So I'll be able to pull the sunflowers out, and potentially, if we don't get any really hard frosts, the calendula will still keep going. But it sure is pretty, the ones that I do have. And then this is that really happy pumpkin plant. You'll see a little later when we go over to the other side, the other pumpkin plants, that this one is a lot more lush and green because it kind of got a later start. And so it's kind of right in the peak of its growth right now. Do have a couple of white pumpkins in here. There's another one. Let's see if I can meander my way through these vines back in there. I'm not sure if you can see that. It's pretty decent size, actually. And there's probably some other small ones in here that won't amount to anything really. But some more sunflowers, some straw flowers. I have my first asters that are coming up here. And this one here is so pretty. And then this is my first stand of celery, which just has done amazing. Kind of see in here, nice big thick stalks. So I really need to get this all preserved. I think I'm just going to freeze and freeze dry most of it. And then some of my onions, some of my very few onions that survived. This is a sugar rush peach pepper plant. Look, it's so sad to see all these beautiful flowers that will not be able to become anything, but I do have quite a few peppers on here. Anyway, which is great. All right, and I come across here. I still want to put some kind of a fountain, something here for next year, but basically we did get up our pergola. As you can see here. Still need to, I want to get some furniture that can go underneath, but it's nice to at least have it up. All right, these carrots, on the other hand, are doing quite well. Let's pull one up here. You can see he's got a nice big top on him. Oh, oh my gosh, you guys. Oh my gosh, look at how big that is. Oh, oh, that's amazing. So cool. Get some of this dirt off of it. Uh-oh, that's not good though. It just split. It got too big, I guess. But wow, holy cow. So I might need to actually come and pull these up and to make sure they're not doing that, because these won't store very long. Like that. We will come back for that. These are my onions that are actually doing somewhat decently. So if I can get in under here. But they haven't, any of them haven't fallen over yet, which means they're not ready to pick. They've got more growing to do, and they also won't mind the cold. So I'm going to leave them until, for as long as I can. And then this is my other stand of celery, which also just is a forest. Then on this side, we have one of our things of corn, and I am just tickled pink that it tasseled. I can't believe it. And not only did it tassel, but I also have little bitty ears of corn. I mean, I don't think I'm actually going to get corn, but the fact that I have silks and tassels at the same time is amazing. And yeah, and they're going to be beautiful fall decorations. And then here's one of my zucchini plants. Now my zucchini have done phenomenal. And here's the reason why, I think. I didn't realize this, but zucchinis must be a vine plant, because this is the original plant, like the beginning of the plant. And then it has grown this super thick stalk, and it just keeps going and going. And I think as long as the weather is okay and it doesn't get disease or bugs, it just keeps going. And I mean, look, those are 2 brand new zucchinis, and there's a decent sized one right here. So even though out here the plant looks terrible, it's just that part of the plant is done growing. So it's going to die off and then just keep growing on in. I had no idea they did that. My chamomile has done amazing. I'm trying to stop picking it because I don't need any more. But yeah, between the 2 patches that I have, I probably have almost a gallon's worth of dried chamomile. So a ton. And then on this side of the corn are our shelling peas here. And we've gotten 2 harvests off of them so far. And we'll probably get another small one. And you know, it's not very much. Shelling peas take up a lot of space and don't, once you shell them, there's not very much. But the ones that we did have gotten, I mean, this is a tiny pod, but the peas are really nice sized and very sweet and tasty. We don't eat a ton of peas anyway, so I think we've gotten about 2 quart-ish size bags, which honestly probably will last us a year. So worth it. And then we have more sunflowers. More sunflowers. I love them. I love them so much. And then this bed, these were some snow peas and some sugar snap peas, which, oh, actually we're getting, looks like a new flush of these guys. That's cool. This is all new growth. Huh. It's probably liking the cool weather. And on this side, we have another zucchini, another one of the striped ones. And again, you can see this is the original side of the plant. And then it's just grown these shoots all the way up to here. Another little tiny zucchini. And these are all my beets that I just need to pull them out and get them stored up and preserved. This pumpkin plant here, I'm pretty sure is a Atlantic giant. That's what these guys look like. They are very large pumpkins. I have no idea what the meat is going to be like in them, like if it's really like good for storing and making pies and stuff, but we shall see. That actually is the thing I'm going to do today, is pick all of my Atlantic giants and some of my other pumpkins, which we'll see in a moment. My keyhole beds I'm very pleased with for the most part. This is exactly what I wanted them to look like, just overflowing with flowers. I definitely will try and have more of a variety of flowers in them next year, but for what it is, that's pretty amazing. And even this little clematis, which died all the way to the ground, has a couple of little buds. And this side of the garden, I have harvested off of this basil a ton. Probably will get at least one more harvest off it before the frost. However, these broccoli plants, which look amazing, they look so healthy and happy. Yeah. Oh, there. That is so far the broccoli that we have got, and that's pretty much it. So I don't think I'm going to grow broccoli next year. Some more straw flowers, and this is another zucchini. I didn't get as many zucchinis from this guy, but it's still going. There's one right back there. Oh, this broccoli is a little tiny bit bigger, but like that's the main head, and that's probably as big as it's going to get, because these buds are starting to get big, so it means it's going to go to seed. Oh dear. Then my yellow zucchini did excellent. I got so much yellow zucchini, and as you can see, it is also still going strong. A couple more of my onions, more of my sunflowers. And then these are my pumpkin plants that are starting to die back, but that's to be expected. I mean, you can definitely see up here. This is my biggest. No, this isn't my biggest, actually. It looks like that one over there is. I thought this was my biggest. It's a big guy. One back there. But look at this. Holy cow, that like just happened overnight. I swear. That was not that big. Oh my goodness, it's huge. Oh. And another one, not quite as big, but sizable. Wow. All right, well, let's go back over here. So that's this guy. The other thing that didn't do great for me this year was all of my parsley. Not really sure why. It just didn't, get nice and lush. My basil, I've got harvested off of these quite a few times, and they've done really good. But yeah, my parsley is just kind of okay, which it's fine. I've gotten plenty, but for this many plants, I would have expected to have been like overloaded. And then these are my Ace 55 tomatoes, lots of green ones. They're outside, and I'm not going to try and cover them. So once we actually get a frost in the forecast, I'm just going to come out and pick them all green and see if they ripen. But I'm not expecting too much on that front. And this is the other side of them here. They do look like they're starting to get a little bit of color on them. And then these tiny Tim guys here, which I have been harvesting from. They like to hide in there. My tomatillos. I have got hundreds of tomatillos in here. These I might cover because there's so many of them, and they're really close to, some of them are really close to being ready. I mean, I have started picking them, especially on this plant here. It was kind of my most mature, but like this guy here, he's ready. So I don't want to lose these guys. Definitely don't want to lose these guys. So I probably will cover these for at least, the first couple of frosts that we get. And then this is my other corn. It also has tasseled and has some little itty bitty little corn cobs coming up. And my teddy bear sunflowers, I love them. They're so pretty. And this was my other chamomile patch. And my dill has done very, very well. I've gotten a ton of it. This side, oh, there's another teddy bear sunflower. Over here, this whole row here is Sugar Rush peach peppers. This would be the other one that I will definitely cover if we get a frost soon. They have, let's see. I am starting to get some color on some of them, starting to get a little orange, but they have a little ways to go yet. And there's so many of them. And I definitely want to get as many as I can. Oh, here, that guy's. This guy is kind of what they'll end up looking like color-wise. So I definitely want to save these if I can. And then these are my other Ace 55 tomato plants. These actually are starting to get ripe, which is great. There's some big guys in here. Holy moly. And then these are the other pumpkins I want to pick. They're my Fujitsu, I think they're called. It shouldn't be going orange. It should be black like this. So that's why I need to pick these. I have a lot of those guys in here. Some over there, one there. So I want to get those all picked as well. And then last but not least, we have our cabbage patch here. I just picked, unfortunately, most of them are splitting, just I haven't gotten to them quick enough. But I picked one about this size yesterday and it was 6.5 pounds. So good sized cabbages. And I still have quite a few of them to go here. Definitely was worth it to cover them. I haven't had any bug damage at all, which is amazing. Just splitting, sadly. And that is it, you guys. Our garden in the end of the season. And, I feel really blessed because if you saw my early spring videos, early summer videos, I was pretty convinced that I was not going to have any garden whatsoever. And, I definitely am not getting nearly as much like of the tomatoes as I did last year. Actually, I think my pepper harvest is going to be significantly bigger, but tomatoes going to be a lot smaller, which is fine. I have a ton left from last year, so I'm not all that concerned about it. But I mean, I didn't think I was going to get anything. So the fact that I've gotten as much as I have and that the garden looks as lush and gorgeous as it does, I just, like I said, I feel very blessed and grateful. And I am looking forward to, I mean, it's bittersweet. The first frost comes and kills the majority of your garden, and it's the cycle of gardening, and it's what needs to happen. And part of me is very glad that it's going to happen because gardens are a lot of work, especially this time of year when you're out here every night harvesting things and preserving. Yeah, so it'll be nice to move into the slow season kind of before holidays kick up and just get to relax a little bit. But I've loved having the garden. All right, let us pick some pumpkins. Oh, and the other actually thing I'm totally looking forward to is next year, all of this is built and I don't have to build any of it. I can just come out here and plant things. I'm sure I'll find something to build, but for the most part, it's all ready to go. So I'm very much looking forward to that. All right, let us pick some pumpkins. I am not sure which one I'm going to need. I'm going to try the small one first, but these might be very large things. But first, I can get rid of some of that. Okay. Look at this! Isn't that amazing? Oh my goodness. I do want to be careful to not break off the stem. Not quite as big, but very cool coloring on it. Those were the only two on this one, although it looks like I might be trying to make some more, but that's all right. We're just gonna go ahead and lop it all off. All right, I think maybe we should go put these away, weigh them and put them away, and then come back for these other two because they're pretty big and I don't think I want to put them on top of these guys. Let's weigh the small guy first here. $25.2 pounds. Holy moly. And 34.6 pounds. Ooh. Oh my goodness. All right, let's go get the others. So this guy here is actually pretty light. I'm guessing he's not gonna be super heavy. 22.8. So still hefty. This guy, however, is huge. Oh. 44.4 pounds. That's awesome. I love it. So I'm pretty sure I thought these were the same kind of pumpkin, but in fact, I thought that these are the Atlantic Giants, but I'm now thinking that this guy is. So I'm going to have to go back and see if I have the tags there, and I wonder if they're correct. But okay, these are all our big guys. Let's get all of our little black ones. And I won't bother to weigh these because they are clearly just little guys. They're meant to be little guys. This one's got a little wart. cute. This guy. They're so pretty. And I think the meat in these is actually supposed to be quite delicious as well. Very dense. This guy. Well, actually, both of them are Atlantic giant, so odd that they look so very, very different. But yeah, maybe that's just what they do. I don't know. Anyway, and then we have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of our black. It's actually futso, black futso. All right, so I'm just going to put them all into the shed to cure because they are still all very, if you poke your fingernail onto them, they dent really easily, and you don't want that. You want their skins to be pretty hard. So I am going to put them in there. They'll be out of direct sunlight, but covered and warm with light, so they can cure. I actually just recalled I have 2 more of these guys over by the hoop house. Yeah, so I'm gonna go get those. This guy was 21 pounds. And this one was 38. And actually, this is a really good example of another way to tell that your pumpkins are ready, is that the curlicues closest to them have all died off, which these guys have. Okay. Oh, there we have it. Most of the pumpkin harvest of 2024. Again, considering the year that we had, the spring that we had, and even the summer that we had, I'm so thrilled with these guys. It's just amazing to me. Yeah, and I still, like I said, I still have the 2 white ones and quite a few of the little Jack B. Littles to pick, and maybe a couple of little teeny tiny white ones. But yeah, very exciting. So now I'm actually starting to get excited for fall. Yay!